He lunged forward, grabbing hold of Mia's arm. But the moment he touched her, an overwhelming force blasted him backward again. He crashed onto the ground, the impact knocking the breath from his lungs. Grace clutched Mia, feeling the small body in her arms trembling violently. But the most terrifying thing was the voice that came from Mia's lips. It wasn't hers. It was the voice of a grown woman. "You swore you would never let me go." The words echoed through the night, an ancient sound as if they didn't belong to this world. Mr. Anthony stood mere steps away, his long black robes swaying in the wind, his pale, almost translucent face eerily calm. His hollow black eyes locked onto Mia. A slow, chilling smile spread across his lips. "Be good, Isabel," he whispered, his voice stretching like an ancient curse. "This time, I will not let anyone take you from me." Grace screamed, pulling Mia closer. "No. Don't touch my daughter." Benjamin stepped forward, shielding them. His fists clenched so tightly that his knuckles turned white. His voice shook with both rage and fear. "You have no right to her. Mia is not Isabel. She's just a child." Mr. Anthony tilted his head, staring at Benjamin with those empty, soulless eyes. "You are mistaken." He raised his hand. The wind howled louder, the ground trembled beneath them, gravestones rattled, cracking with eerie snaps and groans. The air thickened, suffocating, as if unseen eyes were watching from every direction. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shook violently, and a powerful gust of wind swept through the cemetery, sending leaves swirling into the air like a tempest. Grace held on to Mia tightly, feeling her heart race as the atmosphere turned ominous. "Get back!" Benjamin shouted, instinctively stepping in front of Grace and Mia, ready to protect them at all costs. His heart pounded in his chest as he faced the looming figure of Mr. Anthony, who stood unmoved, his hollow eyes fixed on Mia. "You cannot protect her from what she is," Mr. Anthony hissed, his voice echoing with a sinister undertone. "She belongs to me." Grace's breath hitched in her throat, and she felt a surge of determination rise within her. "No. She is my daughter, and she will never belong to you." With a newfound strength, Grace reached deep within herself, searching for any power she could muster. "Mia, listen to me. You are not Isabel. You are my Mia, and you are stronger than this." Mia's body trembled, and for a brief moment, the darkness in her eyes flickered, revealing a glimmer of her true self. "Mom," she whispered, her voice shaking. "Yes, sweetie. It's me. Fight him," Grace urged, her voice filled with urgency. Mr. Anthony's expression twisted with rage. "You think you can save her? You are too late." He raised his arms, and the shadows around them intensified, swirling like a vortex, ready to strike. "No!" Benjamin shouted, feeling the weight of fear pressing down on him. "We won't let you take her." As if in response to his defiance, the wind howled louder, and the air grew colder. Shadows began to lash out, reaching for Mia, but Grace stood firm, refusing to let go. With every ounce of her love and determination, she shouted, "Mia, come back to us! Remember all the times we've shared, all the laughter, all the love. You are not alone." Mia's face contorted in pain, caught in the battle between the darkness and her mother's love. "Mom, I don't want to go." "Then fight. You are stronger than him," Grace cried, her heart breaking at the sight of her daughter struggling against the overwhelming force. Mr. Anthony sneered, "You cannot fight fate, child. You are mine." But just as he spoke those words, a brilliant light began to emanate from Mia, pushing against the dark shadows that surrounded her. It grew brighter, illuminating the cemetery and casting away the shadows that threatened to engulf them. "Stop it!" Mr. Anthony shouted, his voice filled with a mixture of fury and fear. "You will not win today." Benjamin roared, stepping forward to support Grace. Together, they stood united, forming a protective barrier around Mia. Mia squeezed her eyes shut, tears streaming down her cheeks as she concentrated. "I am not Isabel. I am Mia. I am loved." With a final resounding cry, the light erupted from her, engulfing everything in a dazzling brilliance that pierced through the darkness. The shadows recoiled, shrieking in agony as they were cast away, and Mr. Anthony staggered back, his form wavering as the light consumed him. "No!" he screamed, but it was too late. The light enveloped him, and with one final flash, he was gone, dissipating into nothingness. The cemetery fell silent, the air clearing as the oppressive weight lifted. Grace and Benjamin stood breathless, staring at Mia, who slowly opened her eyes. They were bright and clear, filled with innocence once again. "Mia!" Grace cried, rushing forward to embrace her daughter. Benjamin joined them, wrapping his arms around both of them, relief flooding through him. "I was so scared," Mia whispered, her voice trembling. "It's okay, love. You're safe now," Grace soothed, holding her daughter tightly. As they stood together, the moon shone brightly overhead, illuminating the graveyard in a soft, comforting glow. The shadows that once haunted them were gone, and a sense of peace settled over the land. Anna, who had been watching from a distance, stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. "You did it. You broke the curse." Grace looked at Benjamin, overwhelmed with gratitude. "We did it together," she said softly. With the dawn breaking in the distance, they made their way back to the car, their hearts lighter than they had been in weeks. They knew the nightmare was finally over. Months passed, and the once dark and eerie cemetery transformed into a place of remembrance, where flowers bloomed and families brought their children to play. Mia blossomed into a joyful girl, her laughter echoing through the streets of Willow Creek. One sunny afternoon, Grace and Benjamin took Mia to the cemetery, where they found a beautiful white rose blooming at Isabel Parker's grave. "Thank you for watching over us," Grace whispered, kneeling beside the grave. Mia placed her hand on the grave, a smile on her face. "I'll always remember you, Miss Isabel." As they walked away, the sun shining brightly, they felt the warmth of love and hope surrounding them. The darkness had been defeated, and their family was finally free. This story carries a profound lesson about love, courage, and the strength of family. In life, unseen darkness exists in the form of fear, painful pasts, or invisible curses, but faith, love, and perseverance can help people overcome anything. Grace, Benjamin, and Mia never gave up. They fought to the very end to protect their family, and that determination helped them break free from the darkness. Justice always prevails, and in the end, the kind-hearted will find peace. As they walked away from Isabel Parker's grave, the sun continued to shine brightly, casting a warm glow over Willow Creek. The once foreboding cemetery now felt like a sanctuary, a place where love and memories intertwined rather than a site of sorrow and fear. Months turned into seasons, and Grace, Benjamin, and Mia thrived as a family. Mia often visited the cemetery, not out of fear or obligation, but to pay tribute to Isabel, the spirit who had protected her. She would bring flowers, often a bouquet of white roses, and place them gently at the grave. One day, while Mia was picking flowers with her mother in their garden, she looked up at Grace with bright eyes. "Mom, can we plant a rose bush by Miss Isabel's grave? So she always has flowers." "That's a wonderful idea, sweetheart," Grace replied, her heart swelling with pride and love. "We can plant it together." Later that afternoon, they made their way to the cemetery, shovels and a young rose bush in hand. As they approached Isabel's grave, Mia knelt down and gently placed the rose bush at the base of the tombstone. "Thank you for being my friend," Mia whispered, her voice soft and sincere. "You helped me so much." Benjamin and Grace watched with warm smiles as Mia dug a small hole, carefully placing the roots of the rose bush into the earth. They helped her cover the roots with soil, and together they watered the plant, ensuring it would grow strong and beautiful. As they stood back, admiring their work, a gentle breeze rustled through the cemetery, and the sun pierced through the clouds, illuminating the grave. It felt as though Isabel herself was smiling down upon them, grateful for the kindness shown in her memory. Over the years, the rose bush flourished, blooming vibrant white roses that seemed to shine in the sunlight, drawing visitors to the once dreaded cemetery. People began to share stories of love and loss, and the cemetery became a place of healing and remembrance for the entire village. Grace and Benjamin often reflected on the dark days they had faced, grateful for the strength they had found in each other and in Mia. They had learned that love could conquer even the deepest fears, and that family was the greatest gift of all. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching Mia play with her friends, Benjamin turned to Grace. "Do you remember how scared we were? How unsure of everything?" Grace nodded, a soft smile touching her lips. "It feels like a lifetime ago. But we made it through together." "Yeah," Benjamin said, looking out at the sunset painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. "And now look at her. She's so happy." Grace's heart swelled as she watched Mia laugh and chase after butterflies, her innocence restored. "I think we all are." As the seasons continued to change, the village flourished, and the stories of Mr. Anthony faded into legend. The people of Willow Creek learned to embrace life, cherishing every moment and supporting one another through their struggles. Grace, Benjamin, and Mia often visited the cemetery, tending to Isabel's rose bush and sharing their lives with her spirit. They felt a connection to her, as if she were part of their family, watching over them with love. In the end, the haunting of Willow Creek became a tale of resilience, hope, and the unbreakable bond of family. Their journey had transformed them, teaching them that even in the darkest times, love could light the way. As they continued to grow and thrive together, Grace, Benjamin, and Mia knew that they had triumphed over darkness, and in doing so, they had created a legacy of love that would endure for generations to come. The story of their bravery would be passed down, a reminder to all that even the deepest shadows could be dispelled by the light of love, and that true happiness comes from within the heart of family. And so, they lived peacefully, forever grateful for the strength they had found in each other, and the love that would always guide them home. As they continued to grow and thrive together, Grace, Benjamin, and Mia knew that they had triumphed over darkness, and in doing so, they had created a legacy of love that would endure for generations to come. One crisp autumn evening, as leaves turned vibrant shades of red and gold, they gathered around the dinner table for a special family meal. Benjamin had prepared Mia's favorite dish, and the atmosphere was filled with laughter and warmth. "Mia, what are you most thankful for this year?" Grace asked, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Mia thought for a moment, her small fingers tracing the rim of her cup. "I'm thankful for my family, for Miss Isabel, and for the flowers we planted," she replied earnestly. "I feel like she's always with us." Grace felt a lump in her throat. "She is, sweetheart. She's part of our family now." After dinner, they ventured outside to the cemetery, lanterns in hand, ready to light the way for their evening visit. The moon hung high in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the landscape as they approached Isabel's grave. Mia knelt down, carefully placing her lantern beside the rose bush. "We brought you some cookies, Miss Isabel," she exclaimed, setting down a small plate. "I hope you like chocolate chip." As they sat together, sharing stories and laughter under the moonlight, an unexpected cool breeze swept through the cemetery, rustling the leaves and sending a shiver down Grace's spine. "Did you feel that?" she asked, glancing at Benjamin. He nodded, a smile on his face. "Looks like she's saying hello." Mia giggled, her laughter echoing through the stillness. "Thank you, Miss Isabel. We love you." As they enjoyed their cookies, Grace noticed a faint shimmer in the air around the grave, like a gentle wave of light. "Do you see that?" she whispered, pointing toward the ethereal glow. Benjamin squinted, and Mia's eyes widened with wonder. "It's so pretty." The glow seemed to pulse gently, and in that moment, they all felt a sense of peace wash over them, as if Isabel was there, enveloping them in warmth and love. "Perhaps this is her way of letting us know she's at peace," Grace said softly, her heart swelling with gratitude. As they finished their cookies, they shared their hopes and dreams for the future, envisioning a life filled with happiness and adventure. The bond they shared felt unbreakable, fortified by the trials they had faced together. That night, as they returned home, Grace felt a deep contentment settle in her heart. The darkness that once loomed over their lives had been replaced by love, laughter, and the cherished memories of a brave little girl who had made a difference. Years continued to pass, and Mia grew into a thoughtful young woman, carrying with her the lessons of resilience and courage. She often volunteered at the local community center, helping younger children learn about gardening and the importance of nature. One day, while working with a group of children, Mia decided to share the story of Isabel Parker. "She was a brave girl, just like us," Mia explained, her voice filled with passion. "And she taught us that love is stronger than fear." The children listened intently, captivated by Mia's storytelling, and inspired by the legacy of love that had emerged from the darkness. They planted flowers together in the community garden, honoring Isabel's memory and spreading joy throughout the village. As Mia blossomed into adulthood, she continued to visit the cemetery, tending to the rose bushes and speaking to Isabel as if she were still right there beside her. "I will always remember you," Mia would say, placing fresh flowers at the grave. "You're part of my story." Grace and Benjamin watched with pride as their daughter flourished, knowing that the journey they had taken together had shaped her into the compassionate person she had become. On the anniversary of the day they defeated Mr. Anthony, the family held a celebration in the village square. The townspeople gathered to honor the memory of those who had suffered, to celebrate the strength of their community, and to reflect on the importance of love and unity. As lanterns lit up the night sky, Grace stood with Benjamin and Mia, feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. "We've come so far," Grace said, her voice filled with emotion. Benjamin wrapped his arm around her shoulder, pulling her close. "And we will continue to move forward, together." Mia smiled, her eyes sparkling with hope. "I want to keep telling our story, Mom. I want everyone to know that love can conquer anything." As the stars twinkled above them, Grace, Benjamin, and Mia knew they had created a legacy that would not only honor Isabel but would also inspire future generations to embrace love, courage, and the strength of family. And so, in the small village of Willow Creek, the haunting memories faded into history, replaced by the vibrant life of a community that had learned to cherish the light within. They had triumphed over darkness, and their hearts were forever bound by the power of love. The story of their bravery, resilience, and the enduring spirit of Isabel Parker would be passed down through the years, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, hope and love would always prevail. As they stood together under the vast night sky, Grace, Benjamin, and Mia made a silent promise to each other and to Isabel, to always cherish their love, to stand together through whatever challenges lay ahead, and to never forget the importance of kindness and compassion. And with that promise in their hearts, they knew that their journey was far from over. It was just the beginning of a beautiful story that would continue to unfold, bringing light to all who crossed their path. From that day forward, they lived their lives filled with gratitude, courage, and the unshakable bond of family, knowing that love would guide them through all that lay ahead.